I remember one Easter finding happiness in an unexpected place. I had been selected to represent my university on a trip to Georgia, so I took a cheap flight to Turkey before travelling by boat across the Black Sea. Finally, I entered the city of Tbilisi, where a group of students met me at the university for the Cultural Exchange Programme. They told me about life in Georgia and I told them about life in the United Kingdom. Before long, we were all laughing together, swapping folk songs and telling jokes. The afternoon turned into evening and evening turned into night. My host, a student called Tamas, was keen to show me the centre of Tbilisi on the way back to his home. It was already midnight, but many people were still out and about celebrating in the local bars and restaurants. Then, as yet another party spilled out into the town square, I heard a loud bang. The crowd scattered in terror around me and I realised it was gunfire. Shots continued to ring out. Tamas pushed me forward. "Run," he yelled. I sprinted to the edge of the town square and huddled down behind a parked car, gasping to breathe. Tamas was right behind me. He crouched down, checking if I was okay. I nodded. The gunshots trailed off, although the panic continued all around us. That's when I noticed Tamas was clutching his leg. A red stain was seeping through his jeans. At the same time, a broad smile was spreading across his face. "I'm just happy it was me that was shot and not you," he laughed. A few hours later, at the hospital, some police officers came to visit us. They had not turned up to take a statement, they'd come to apologise. They had had too much to drink and one of them had become rather trigger happy with his state-allocated firearm. Luckily, nobody except Tamas had been hurt. I learnt a lot about hospitality and happiness from Tamas that night. As he walked with a limp and a smile, he showed me that deep joy can come alongside pain and sacrifice. Scientific research agrees there is good evidence to suggest that helping others can lead to deep and lasting happiness. Perhaps you have experienced this too. I'm reminded of my night in Tbilisi when I read the story of the first Easter. It begins with a visitor arriving in a foreign city. The streets are full of people celebrating. They're hoping for a cultural exchange that would lead to a transformed society, a brand new kingdom. Hosanna, they chant. Their slogan, the ancient equivalent of "God save the King." But it meant far more than that. It expressed their hope that God's King will save them. But this party too would end in bloodshed. The local law enforcement, bayed on by the same crowd that had earlier waved palm branches in honour of the visitor, would arrest the man on the donkey, pierce his body and take his life. The happiness of the crowd was self-serving and short-lived. Jesus' happiness was the opposite. Knowing that he had come to the city to lay down his life for the sake of the world, he might have put it like Tamas, "I'm just happy it's me that will face death and not you." Tamas, that night in Tbilisi, not only saved my life but changed it. Being on the receiving end of hospitality that was so costly yet so joyful made me not only more appreciative of his friendship but more intent on following his example. How much more should I want to be like Jesus, who laid down his life for me 2,000 years before I needed it? If you have been challenged to take your hospitality to the next level this Easter, perhaps look at our website, sanctuaryfoundation.org.uk, to find out how you can be involved in welcoming and supporting refugees into your homes and communities.